Hi, everybody. Welcome, Eagle Stadium, Ozark, Alabama, and this is it. Does not matter what happens today from the standpoint of extending the tournament into another day or into another game. This will decide who represents the ACCC and advances to Grand Junction, Colorado to play in the World Series there. Faulkner State's Sun Chiefs and the Wallace Dothan Governors ready to do battle. Faulkner State, let's face it, they had not fared well against the Govs throughout the course of the season. Had faced them 5 times prior to yesterday's matchup and lost every single one of them. But they won when they needed the win most and have forced the championship game to become the if game. Hi, everybody. Robert Williamson set to bring you the coverage. James Crenshaw is in the van handling all the stuff you watch. I'll handle a little bit of it that you listen to as Faulkner State gets ready to take on Wallace Dothan. Wallace Dothan will be the home team in this one. They are, again, decked out in the same decor of a day ago, predominantly white with some maroon splashed in the maroon and white, but a predominant maroon flavor to the decor on the Sun Chiefs of Faulkner State. How did we get here? Well, let's go all the way back to the first outing for both. Where Wallace Dothan is concerned, they knocked off Shelton State 6-3, beat Wallace State handsful 7-5, knocked off Faulkner State impressively 10-2, and obviously coming out of the winner's bracket, taking on a team you just knocked off by 8. Shortened the game, as a matter of fact, you beat them so bad. And then here comes Faulkner State, and they come away with a 1-run victory. Here's how they got to yesterday's game. A 10-2 win over Southern Union, then nipped Chat Valley 8-7, lost, as I mentioned, to Wallace Dothan 10-2. And then yesterday beating Wallace Dothan 5-4. So if you go into yesterday thinking the Govs are the favorite of the two teams, I would say you probably were right. Faulkner State had a blemish. Wallace Dothan did not. If you come into today, you might be leaning towards Faulkner State as the favorite, though a 3 seed battling a 2 out of the South, just based on the fact that they have certainly played their best baseball over the course of the last couple of games. Beat Shelton State 5-4 yesterday afternoon to advance to the outing against Wallace Dothan. And here we go with the opening pitch. And Luke Wall will take one on the outside part of the plate. Luke Wall stepped into the box to begin things yesterday against this Wallace Dothan squad and took a shot to the helmet. Banged helmet against the eye, the cheek area. Apparently cuts it open, and he has to be tended to. Spent about, roughly 5 minutes or so in the dugout and came back with a bandage over the eye. That was compliments of a Devontae Dixon pitch that caught him right about the eye, but on the helmet. Facing Jacinto Arredondo in this one. Into the strike zone, 1-2 on Luke Wall. Right fielder starting things off for the Sun Chiefs. Justin Dunham is the left fielder batting second. Saywan Lawrence, the center fielder, in the 3 spot. Howard Lewis playing third, bats fourth. Walker Watts is the catcher in the 5 spot. The DH today, Stone Stevenson batting sixth. The first baseman, Chad Broussard, the 7-hitter. John Sklopan is at second, batting eighth. Anthony Felix playing short, batting ninth. All facing Jacinto Arredondo for Wallace Dothan. Arredondo has already been on the hill in this tournament. The first time that we saw Wallace Dothan, we saw Arredondo. And that was in that matchup as the pitch is outside. Matchup against Shelton State. And in that matchup worked 7 innings before giving way to Dixon. Low with the pitch, Luke Wall is on. This is the gentleman, by the way, that grabbed the attention of Bobby Sproul, the head coach at Shelton State in that opening game. He's got kind of a 2-step on the delivery, and that was something that Bobby Sproul did not particularly care for and shared his sentiment with the officials. Officials saying, hey, everything is totally legal, but if memory serves me correct, now it's been nearly a week ago back on Friday, but there was a gathering of the officials to discuss the Bobby Sproul contention. Into the strike zone, 0-1. Saquon Lawrence moving to the on-deck circle. And there is a little unusual movement with that leg as he kicks. Seems to point it towards third and then kick it towards the house before delivering with the baseball to home plate. Count even, one apiece on Dunham. Bunted right back up the middle. Arredondo, if he had an opportunity at second, and it looked like he was thinking about second, but his mind was changed when Joey Ben knocked up against him. So he went with his second option, which really might should have been his first. But you see here the contact, and Arredondo, I think, is thinking about second. But when Ben came in and climbed up on his back, he has to go to first. And it's a 1-3 put out. The sacrifice gets Wall to second. Saquon Lawrence coming to the plate. Arredondo on the hill behind the plate for Wallace Dothan is Eric Rodriguez. The first baseman, Philip Seeley. Now, if you will recall, the starter in yesterday's game, Donnie Glaneski, came out in the fourth inning. He apparently has suffered an injury and a pulled muscle that has taken him out of the lineup, took him out of yesterday's game, and takes him out of this one as well. So Philip Seeley is the first baseman for Wallace Dothan. On the outside part of the plate, 0-2 on Lawrence. Yesterday, Nick Lewis played first and Scott Stevenson played second. Today, there was a mention Philip Seeley is at first. Obviously, Nick Lewis back to that familiar 4 position. Tyler Hallis is at short. Joey Ben, the third baseman. In the outfield, Austin Garrett, and left. The center fielder is Adrian Hernandez, and Oliver Tejada is in right. So the question yesterday would have been, with the change, did it hurt things up the middle where you've got typically Lewis playing second and Hallis playing short? If it hurt him yesterday, it's back to the normal routine today. Swing and a miss, and out goes Lawrence. Well, it is not supposed to rain. It is a little overcast. Very warm here in Ozark, Alabama. Currently 87. Supposed to get to 88. The iPhone weather app says clouds but no rain. Well, we can deal with that. The clouds making conditions maybe a little more bearable. Still very humid though. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Howard Lewis. Walker Watts to the on-deck circle. On the outside part of the plate from Arredondo, and it's 0-1. Humidity at 56%, feels like 93. Winds out of the south-southeast at 9. Your visibility 10 miles, and the UV index not quite as good, or maybe not quite as bad, 8. Here's the 0-2. That missed, but barely. Well, looks like we got a UPS truck driver out in center field, probably taking his lunch break and enjoying the game. Several times we have seen our UPS guys in center field. Rolled foul, unless he's got a lot of packages to deliver to a building nearby, and that'd be a long haul. Not a bad way to enjoy the game. Just pull up, leave the AC on, the van running. Got the big, almost like plate glass windows for the windshields. Here is the 1-2 pitch to Howard Lewis. High and away, and the count goes even at 2. Walker Watts to the on-deck circle. Luke Wall gets on, compliments of the walk. Dunham sacrifices him to second. And that's where he is still situated with 2 gone after Lawrence strikes out. 2-2 offering. Fouled off, it will stay 2-2. Well, I guess the only way that we wouldn't wrap up today is if it did start raining. And then it would have to rain for an extended period of time. Oh, nobody's pulling for rain, that's for sure. I think Govs and Sun Chiefs want to wrap up the day. Fans want to see the tournament come to an end. We've got electronics out in the elements, so we want to see it be rain-free. Couple of balls, couple of strikes, 2 away. Base runner on bag 2, top of the first. The championship. Winner advances, loser will reflect on a great season at some point and try to get over the pain at another. Here is the 2-2 offering from Arredondo. Missed and the count runs full. Here is the 3-2 offering. Well, it's just a little low. Inside as well. Payoff pitch from Arredondo. Popped up. Out of play. Luke Wald, who was at third, will make the U-turn and go back to second. As I mentioned, a little bit on the breezy side. That's why occasionally you'll see a bobble from center field. As the breeze picks up, south-southeast at 9, occasional gusts beyond the 9. Another payoff pitch. Up the middle, Hallis fields over to first, gets the out, base runner left on. Nobody scores in the top part of the inning. We are officially in the championship game. Gov sending Hernandez, Guerin, and Lewis to the plate when we come back. We enter the bottom of the first, top of the order. Adrian Hernandez starting things off for Wallace Dothan. Center fielder, followed by left fielder Austin Guerin, batting in the 2 spot. The second baseman is Nick Lewis, batting third. Eric Rodriguez behind the plate, batting fourth. Tyler Hallis is the shortstop, batting fifth. Joey Bend at third will bat sixth. Oliver Tejada is the right fielder, batting seventh. In the 8th spot, Philip Seeley, the new first baseman. And the DH, Mitch McClendon, will bat ninth. All facing Tyler Lawrence. Tyler Lawrence is seeing his second stint on the hill as well. Got a complete game against Southern Union in that 10-2 win for Faulkner State. Rest of the defense for the Sun Chiefs. Walker Watts behind the plate. Immediately into right field, Adrian Hernandez. Base runner on for Austin Guerin. Chad Broussard at first for Faulkner State. John Sklopan at second. The shortstop is Anthony Felix. Howard Lewis at third. In the outfield, Justin Dunham. In left field, the center fielder is Sawan Lawrence. Luke Wall is roaming right field for Faulkner State. Nick Lewis moving to the on-deck circle. Adrian Hernandez, the base runner, showing bunt is Garrett. Instead, the throw over to first. Adrian Hernandez got picked off yesterday in my years of watching baseball. The most unusual reaction by the guy at first. He knew he was picked off, and it was like no effort. And there another hitter smack. This time it is Wallace Dothan's Austin Garrett. And that might have gotten the jaw and not the helmet of Austin Garrett. Whether you see him in pain, face down, he is up. Let's see where he got popped. I think he was able to turn away and maybe got him on the ear pad and maybe part of the neck. But if you stay where you are at, then you're taking full force to the jaw area. Well, I'm wondering, they reached down into the chalk, and I don't know if that was a contact or a tooth they picked up. But he lost something. Well, in the opening game yesterday, Luke Wall took a shot, the one hitter for Faulkner State. And in this one, Austin Garrett, two-hitter for Wallace Dothan, takes a shot. And the game's very similar starts, with the exception of the fact that it is a representative of the opposite team. I'd say it looks like he might have taken it on the jaw area. Though because of the way he was pulling away, may not have felt the full effect, but it was certainly extremely painful. Well, we've got a player down, and that is Austin Garrett. And I say down from the standpoint of he was and now is in the baseball equivalent to sick bay, as they tend to Austin Garrett. And the way it appears currently is that he will certainly be back on to the diamond. And really, it was just, this is like yesterday's game in so many ways. There was a shot to the head. In yesterday's case to Luke Wall, he went to the dugout, stayed a bit, probably goes through some kind of protocol just to make sure that everything was fine. Today, it is Austin Garrett who takes a shot to the jaw area. He will go to the dugout. He will get readjusted, and he will wind up back over at first. So very similar starts from one game to the next. Nick Lewis stepping in. I understand that Austin Garrett said, I see, Coach, you're holding up two fingers. And Coach said, well, I haven't even held up the hand yet. So, but no, I think he's all right. He's got a big lead over at first, and good to see him back onto the diamond, especially taking that shot about the head. You don't like pops anywhere, but neck and above, that's dangerous. And we've seen dangerous starts to the last two ball games. Nick Lewis batting with a couple of base runners on. On the outside part of the plate, Nick Lewis not agreeing, and he was probably thinking that Walker Watts actually pulled it back into the strike zone. And you see there at the last minute, Watts bringing it back over. And that's where Nick Lewis was a little disgruntled. 0-2 on Lewis. Eric Rodriguez moving to the on-deck circle. Just a bit outside, 1-2. And again, forecasters say no rain, but there are some, I won't call them ominous, but suspicious clouds. Got a lot of superstitious people up here in the box. And in the van, apparently. Outside of the strike zone, and the count even at 2. My wife's the same way. She thinks you can speak things into existence and says, keep it quiet. I just don't believe you can. I mean, I just don't think you can talk them into existence. It's coincidental. On the outside part of the plate, Nick Lewis struck out. The power in words, I don't think, influence things unattached to those words. I guess we could be proven wrong again. 1 out, couple of base runners on. Eric Rodriguez, followed by Tyler Hollis. Lawrence with the look back of the runner at second. Adrian Hernandez, 2 aboard here in the bottom of the first. That will roll between the legs of Watson, get back to the backstop, and base runners will roll up 1. Hernandez to third. Garrett goes to second. So the pass ball has got runners at second and third. Garrett at second. Hernandez, the base runner, at third as Govs threaten here in the bottom part of the first inning. "20 minutes into the game and still in the first inning. Two-0 pitch outside, 3-0. Top part of the inning, the walk to Wall. Dunham the sacrifice. Lawrence strikes out. Lewis grounds out. 3-0 finds the strike zone. 3-1 on Rodriguez. Tyler Hollis following Eric Rodriguez into the strike zone, 3-2. Well, by now you probably know the process. Third inning new Twitter followers. We get your handle out, swatted towards Lewis at third, and instead of coming home to try to get the runner, he will go over to first and get Rodriguez on the 5-3 putout, but Hernandez comes in to score. Meanwhile, going to third, Garrett, and it's Wallace Dothan that grabs the early lead in this one.
The shortstop, number 2, Tyler Hollis.
Two gone for Tyler Hollis. Take a look again at the Rodriguez play over at first. And there's why you are hearing some argument from fans. Indeed looked like Broussard pulled his foot off the bag before the ball was in his mitt. Take another look. Ball on its way, and there comes the foot just prior to the ball arriving into the mitt of Chad Broussard. Rodriguez making the call, and actually will wind up getting it right. But Blue saw it another way. And of course, we are slowing it down in such a fashion. 5-3 goes the put out of Rodriguez. 3-1 on Tyler Hallis with a base runner at third. Popped up towards left field. Dothan will trot in a few, make the catch, put it into the inning. One base runner left on, but there is a run on the board. It belongs to the Governors. They take a 1-zip lead in the championship. One nothing advantage. It belongs to Wallace Dothan as we head to the top of the second. Walker Watts, Stone Stevenson, Chad Broussard due up in the inning two.
Leading off, the catcher.
We go back a game ago. We didn't have any runs until you got to the fourth inning. A couple of runs in the top part, 3 runs in the bottom. This one sees a run plate in its very first inning, and it's a 1-zip score. Walker Watts, Stone Stevenson, Chad Broussard due up in the inning. High hop right over the mitt of Ben into left field. And Walker Watts will lead off with a single for Faulkner State.
Now batting the designated hitter number 4.
Just out of reach. And Watts will pick up the first Sun Chief hit of the game. And is over at first. Stone Stevenson, no indication a bunt is coming to move the runner over. If you will recall, in yesterday's game early, Scott Stevenson called upon to bunt a runner over and wound up striking out. Misfired on a no strike call, misfires on a 1-2 strike, and then with 2 strikes that put an end to his at bat. Stevenson awaiting the 1-1, foul back. And it's 1-2. 1 ball, couple of strikes on Stone Stevenson. Chad Broussard, John Sklopan. They will follow. Watts, the base runner at first. On the outside part of the plate, Stevenson becomes K number 2 for Jacinto Arredondo.
14, Chad Broussard.
1 away for Chad Broussard. Well, don't forget, in the third, we read new Twitter followers' Twitter handles. In the fourth, get into your shoutouts. So if you haven't followed us on Twitter, hang on. Wait until the third, do it, and we'll give you a little cyber love. As it swung on and missed by Broussard. John Sklopan will follow. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks for Arredondo. And there's 2 away with John Sklopan coming to the plate. Anthony Felix to the on-deck circle. Sklopan, a couple of singles in yesterday's win over Wallace Dothan. Went 2 for 4. Scored a run as well. When you get to the bottom of the inning, it's the 6, 7, and 8 spots due up for Wallace Dothan. Ben, Tejada, and Seeley. 2-0 on Sklopan. 2 gone. Base runner at first. Walker Watts. Arredondo, a couple of glances to the base runner and then gets the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Two and 1 on Sklopan. Fouls it out of play to even the count up. 1 game, don't make that 2 in progress in the majors. Rays on top of the Indians, 6-3. That's in the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 7th. Astros leading the Marlins 3-0. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone. Base runner aboard, 1-0 Governors lead. Swing and a miss by Sklopan. 1 walk, 3 Ks for Arredondo. 1-0 Cubs lead as we head to the bottom of the 2nd. Ben, Tejada, and Seeley all coming up. Bottom of the 2nd, Joey Ben starting things off. Oliver Tejada due up as well. Philip Seeley coming to the plate too. Both teams with a hit. Both teams no errors, and 1 team with a run. That's the Cubs. 1-0 contest. Joey Ben, Oliver Tejada, Philip Seeley due up in the inning. All facing Tyler Lawrence. That 1 base hit, Walker Watts led off the inning for Faulkner State. And then Stevenson, Broussard, and Sklopan struck out. Swing and a miss by Joey Ben. Well, don't forget, in the 3rd, brand new Twitter followers, we send out your Twitter handle, and there you see on your screen above WSD how to find us on Twitter. Don't follow us though till the 3rd so we can give you your just dues. Charging in to make the catch, Saywan Lawrence, and Joey Ben decided to take a slide in the dirt before going back to the dugout at 3rd. 1 out for Oliver Tejada. Philip Seeley moving to the on-deck circle. On the outside part of the plate to Tejada. Again, couple of strikes. And the body language of Tejada would tend to suggest he and Blue not seeing eye to eye. Here's the 0-2 upstairs, 1-2. Philip Seeley next. 1 out, nobody aboard. Bottom of the second. Championship game. Winner claims the ACCC, heads west. Slowly towards third. Lewis fields and goes way too tall with the toss. That though is going to be scored as an Oliver Tejada base hit. So Tejada on for Philip Seeley. Mitch McClendon moving to the on-deck circle. Well, to date, these are the teams that are going to Grand Junction. They've already qualified. Cali out of Kansas with a 43-16 mark. Chipola out of the Panhandle at 45-8. San Jac out of Texas at 42-16. And McLennan, another Texas squad, at 51-11. Popped up towards left field. And then stepping in on the run, Saywan Lawrence to make the catch of Philip Seeley.
Now batting the designated hitter number 5.
All 4 teams ranked in the top 10 in the NJCAA polls prior to the start of postseason. Chipola was 1, McLennan 4, Cali 6, San Jac 8. So who will join those 4 from the ACCC? It will be an unranked team. The 2 ranked teams in the conference lost. Top seed out of the north, top seed out of the south. Wallace Hansful and Chad Valley exiting. Two gone, base runner on. Mitch McClendon batting. Those are some really tough teams that have got some World Series experience, especially the teams from Texas. And San Jac has got a history of playing many years. Base hit for the 9-hitter, Mitch McClendon. Stiff competition in Grand Junction, but what do you expect? It's the World Series, best teams in the country. Adrian Hernandez, who singled and scored a run in the first, coming to the plate. Takes the first pitch, sends it to short, and just ahead of the arrival of Mitch McClendon, Anthony Felix able to get to the bag. Base runners get on, but nobody scores in the second. We're headed to the third, bottom of the order. Coming to bat for the Sun Chiefs. We head to the bottom of the order in the top of the third. Anthony Felix starting things off. Got a couple of teams in the ACCC playing in the Softball National Championships D1 out in St. George, Utah. Wallace State is the 12 seed in the tournament. They will be taking on number 5 seed Central Arizona, as it is one hopped into the mitt of Wallace, who will go over to first to get Felix on the 6-3.
Now batting number 18, Luke Wallace.
And coming in is the 16 seed, Snead State, taking on number 1 Butler, an unbeaten Butler. So there are 16 teams battling, and both ACCC squads will see action starting at 6:30 tonight. What a tough task for Snead State to begin with, but hey, who better to put a blemish on an unbeaten team's record than an ACCC squad? Into center field. Luke Wall is on. That will be a base hit for Wall.
Now batting number 32, Justin Dunham.
Butler has got to be around 50-0 now. They were 46-0 at the end of the regular season, and probably played 3, maybe 4 games in their postseason tournament. Oh, they are 55-1, I understand. So lost somewhere along the way, but had to have been in the double elimination state tournament that they lost, and apparently came out of the losers bracket to win. I was making the assumption that they just, kind of ran the table, but obviously they did not. We do not know who they lost to, but no, it was a conference foe. Two away for Saywan Lawrence. Takes a pitch high. And obviously, congratulations to Wallace State winning the ACCC. Good luck to the Lady Lions, and Snead State. They have been really fun to watch. In towards center field by Saywan Lawrence. Adrian Hernandez tracks it down, and the Luke Wall single that got him on does not turn into a run. All right, in the bottom of the third, we're going to get to these Twitter handles. Had to talk a little ACCC. Bottom of the third, near the top of the order for Wallace Dothan. Austin Guerin starting things off. Nick Lewis, Eric Rodriguez. Okay, we promised it in the third. If you follow us on Twitter in the third, we read your Twitter handle on air, give you a little on air and cyber love. At JockJive, that's what you need to put in the search engine when you go on Twitter. If you haven't already followed us, do it in the third. Can we get to 800 today? I mean, we are at like 754, I think. Would it be possible to pick up 46 new followers on Twitter? Into the strike zone to Guerin. I mean, I know that's a lofty goal. Count even, one apiece. Austin Garrett, Nick Lewis, Eric Rodriguez. So let's take a look at some of the new Twitter followers. At GScott0616. At GScott0616. 0616. Thank you very much for following us on Twitter. You see how simple it is? Just go in, put @JockJive in, and @StatsDeuce22 following us. Thank you very much. Grounding into the put-out that goes 6-3. Austin Garrett, Nick Lewis coming to the plate. @Ben Christie also following us. Thank you very much. @Ben Christie. We do it in the third, by the way. All those Twitter handles of those following. Yosoy Hula also following us. Thanks so much to Yosoy Hula. Also @Marissa_Lee2 now following us. Thank you very much. @Marissa_Lee2. Hit deeply towards center field, but not deep enough. Saywan Lawrence able to get underneath, and Nick Lewis is out number 2.
Batting number 14, Eric Rodriguez.
@Dana Lambert 06 now following us. Thank you very much. @Dana Lambert 06. Also, thank you very much to @Brett_Hendricks. @Brett_Hendricks now following us on Twitter. Shot over towards third. And across the diamond, Lewis taking care of the putout. Got some more to pass along, so we're not going anywhere yet. @Sun Chiefs now following us. Thank you very much to Coastal Alabama. @Sun Chiefs now following us. @B-Ball Mama Bear following us now on Twitter. @B-Ball Mama Bear, thanks so much. @Raoul Savannah 4 is now following. We appreciate you @Raoul Savannah 4. @Caitlin Bluebaugh. @Caitlin Bluebaugh now following us on Twitter. Thanks so much. Again, we're doing it all throughout the third. Well, now we've kind of creeped into the fourth, but that's okay. @MB Murphy. Now that's an extended Murphy. MB Murphy with 3 Ys now following us too. Thank you very much for the new followers. @Kisorjo now following us. @Kisorjo, we appreciate that. Well, you know, we might just extend the following of us on Twitter into the fourth, and then kind of push back the shout-outs to the fifth. Of course, I know there's some people getting a little antsy. They want to get those shout-outs in. Aaron Dondo will face Howard Lewis, Walker Watt, Stone Stevenson here in the fourth. So another inning, one more inning. Again, it's all about supply and demand. But one more inning of your Twitter following. Men's golf in Garden City, Kansas. ACCC involved. Central Alabama 10th. Wallace State 12th. Faulkner State 17th. Chip Willoughby, number 5 in the NJCAA in that tournament there with a 70. So congratulations to Chip. Central Alabama, Wallace State, Faulkner State, good luck there in the world of golf in Garden City. G. Hendricks 14 now following us. Thank you very much. G. Hendricks 14 hit to short, fielded by Hallis over to first, and out goes Howard Lewis on the 6-3. More Twitter followers coming in. @Imperin_ Thank you very much. At M. Perrin, P-E-R-R-I-N, P-E-R-R-I-N _ for following us on Twitter. At TiVo09. Also following us too, at TiVo09. Well, since you continue to follow, we're going to continue to acknowledge your following. And that's the wind beginning to pick up just a little bit into our field mic. Or how about picking up substantially into our field mic? 3 pitches outside of the strike zone to Walker Watts. Stone Stevenson will follow. Well, again, because you're tweeting and you're brand new, we're acknowledging it in the 4th, pushing the shoutouts back to the 5th. At Josh Dazumi now following us. Thank you very much, Josh. At Josh Dazumi. Walker Watts, his namesake, walks over to first. And there's a base runner on for Stone Stevenson. Chad Broussard moving to the on-deck circle. Ladies golf, by the way, in the ACCC and the NJCAA being played in Duluth, Georgia. Wallace State finishes 7th. Is that a finish or a current? First day, Wallace State 7th, Snead State 11th. Dean Meyer, the commissioner of the ACCC, here in the box. By the way, Chip Willoughby is with which program? He is a Wallace State golfer. So Chip Willoughby has got a run around in second and a fist pump from Aaron Tondo. Rodriguez is a doggone good catcher. He got it there quickly. I mean, if the throw is not going to be on the money, then get it there quick. Typically, it's on the money. A little high that time, but he got it there so fast that Nick Lewis was able to reach down and lay the tag on Walker Watts. Two outs, count even, 2 apiece on Stevenson. Chad Broussard to the on-deck circle. So Watts gets on with a walk, gets caught stealing. And Stevenson now facing a 2-2 offering from Aaron Tondo into right field, base hit. And my, how the Sun Chiefs would like to have Watts back on the base pad. 2 away with the base runner aboard.
Now batting number 14, Chad Broussard.
At PXPI Auto. Now following us on Twitter. Lots of folks following. Thanks. Started it in the 3rd, but the supply and demand forced us to do it in the 4th and put the shout-outs back to the 5th. Aaron Tondo's pitch goes to the screen, and that's got Stevenson going to second. Chad Broussard with an opportunity to knock in the tying run. John Sklopan moving to the on-deck circle. Top of the 4th, 1-zip game, and in the 3rd typically, but we've moved it into the 4th. If you haven't followed us on Twitter, do, at JockJive. There you see it on your scoreboard, and we acknowledge you. Get to 3rd. And the tag out of Stevenson puts it into the top part of the 4th. So a base runner gets in scoring position, but nobody scores. Still 1-zip Cubs as we go to the bottom of the 4th. We head into the bottom of the fourth. Tyler Hallis, Joey Ben, Oliver Tejada due up for the Governors of Wallace Dothan. 1-zip score. A bit on the breezy side this afternoon here in Ozark. Line score 0-2-0, and right before your very eyes, it becomes 1-4-0 for Wallace Dothan. As we head to the bottom of the fourth, Tyler Hallis starting things off. Joey Ben, Oliver Tejada due up in the inning 2. Bottom of the fourth, by the way, definitely it for getting the new followers on Twitter and recognizing you. I mean, we will invite you to do it all day long into the night. Get your friends to do the same. You know, I said, could we get 800 kind of half jokingly, but maybe we can get darn close to 800. But if you're going to do it and we recognize it, got to do it in the bottom of the fourth. We are definitely getting into the shout-outs in the fifth. Joey Ben with a fly out to center field. That happened in the second inning. Oliver Tejada moving to the on-deck circle. Into the strike zone again. A couple of pitches to Ben, finding the zone. Ben the first out in the second inning. He'll become the second out in the fourth inning. Oliver Tejada coming to the plate. And when you see movement of the center field camera, that's because the breeze has picked up noticeably. Tejada with a single in the second. Another big cut at a Tyler Lawrence pitch. 0-1. Just missing, count goes even. Here is the 1-1 offering to Tejada, who had a single in the second. Well, Lawrence has got something working for him here in the bottom of the fourth. Hallis with the fly out, Ben the strikeout. And now Lawrence ahead of Tejada, 1-2, and just missed. Thought he had it on the outside part of the plate. Here is the 2-ball, 2-strike, 2-out offering. Lewis underneath the mitt. Error committed. Second one by Faulkner stayed, and Tejada is on.
Number 14, Philip Seeley.
Philip Seeley coming to the plate. A 2-out error. Should have been routine for Lewis, but it slipped underneath the mitt. And Tejada is on. Actually, that is the first error committed, I believe, by Faulkner State. Looking back in the book and see no other E's. I think I'm going to blame that on Jason. Jason is so quick getting that stuff on the board. I just made the assumption that there was a second error, but he's quick on the draw. Fans want to know, and he's got it there before, sometimes even before it happens, because he has a premonition. In foul over to Warren's left. Jason could make it maybe as a baseball psychic. Boy, if you could have that kind of power, can you imagine the people that would want your services and pay well for it? One ball, one strike on Philip Seeley. Here is the 1-1 offering. Lawrence, right-hander, comes set, deals, and does so high. Two balls, one strike. Seeley with a fly out to center field, the middle out in the second inning. Mitch McClendon moving to the on-deck circle. On the outside corner. Blue's been giving the pitcher that strike, that call consistently. Count even, 2 apiece. Hit towards Lewis. This one he will field. Pumps, fires. Gets Seeley on the 5-3. Tejada is left on. Nobody scores in the 4th. We are going to the 5th, and yes, finally, the shoutouts will begin when we return. We head to the 5th, time to get into shoutouts, but before we do, got one more Twitter follower that technically came in under the wire, so we got to recognize JPieFSU at JPie, JPYE FSU. Thanks so much to all of those who became our followers during the 3rd and into the 4th. And by the way, keep doing it. We want to get to 800, and now we're about 30 some odd away. John Sklopan beginning things, taking the first pitch into foul territory. Lewis gives it a chase, but not able to get to it. All right, now it's time to get into shoutouts, which could very well extend us into the 6th as well. 334-488-1385. You see it there on your scoreboard. And apparently it is starting to rain here in Ozark. Hearing that there is some raindrops, and right when there was the indication there were drops, I see the grounds crew hop up. So we are hoping that if there are drops, they are random and few and far between. Inside on Sklopan. I don't know what Sklopan was upset about. The call was not a strike, it was a ball, but he was obviously not happy. Shot on the middle. Aaron Dondo knocked it down when he turned, and just barely beating it out over at first. The throw by Rodriguez. That will be a base hit for John Sklopan. Anthony Felix coming to the plate with a base runner on. Boy, Aaron Dondo almost pulled off the impossible. Turned his back and lifted the mitt, almost able to bring it in. Anthony Felix, who wrapped into the 6-3, bunch towards first. That's trouble. And it turns into a base hit for Anthony Felix. Couple of base runners on. So Sklopan gets on with an infield shot. Felix gets on with an infield bunt. And here we go back to the top of the order. Luke Wall coming to the plate. All right, shout-outs 334-488-1385. We'll have it posted for you momentarily. James had to run out to the center field and put a raincoat on the camera if it's going to rain. So that's why you don't have your current graphic posted that gives you the number outright, but it's 334-488-1385. Here's what we're looking for, by the way, in the shout-outs. First of all, you gotta, root on a team, root on a player. Secondly, geographical region, where you are watching from. Third, point of interest. If you're watching the game in a spot that's a little intriguing. a spot that maybe you wouldn't normally be watching a game. Of course, as I've mentioned previously, these days, just about anywhere the right spot to be watching the game. I guess the most unique, though, at least during this tournament, was somebody that was watching the game in the bathtub, which we don't recommend. But if you do, be sure to use those brand new waterproof phones. That will roll foul from Luke Wall. Justin Dunham on deck. Wall with a walk and a single. And then let's see, if you're at work or in school watching the coverage, let us know. Classroom name, school, that kind of stuff. Workplace, if it's okay if you watch while at work. Send the info. We will pass it along via shoutouts. 334-488-1385. Couple of base runners on. Shoutout says, I will get it right today. Go Govs. Threw my popcorn on the floor when my grandson Austin Garrett got hit. Hope you're okay. Love you from Grana and Levon from Athens, Alabama. Well, I think he is indeed okay. And very importantly, too, we hope you were still able to retrieve and the popcorn was edible. Pop towards left, but foul out of play by Luke Wall. This shout out simply says, go Sun Chiefs from Fairhope, Alabama. Shout out to our boy Devontae Dixon. Let's win this. DJ and Kaiser want to go to Grand Junction. I understand. Out in the Rockies, where it is definitely warm during the day, but it doesn't, you know, when it gets to 90, 95 there, it just doesn't feel like our 90 or 95s. And the nights are cool and pleasant. 0-2 on Luke Wall. Shout out says, go Tyler Lawrence. God bless both teams and our great nation. Here's the 0-2 pitch. High, goes to the screen. Runners will advance one. Wild pitch has got Sklopan to third, Felix to second, and Faulkner State now with a couple of base runners in scoring position. One ball, couple of strikes. Justin Dunham next. Faulkner State, their most serious threat of the game. First time with a base runner at third. And it's rolled foul over towards third. More shout outs. This one to Brendan Mayo, number 29 for the Sun Chiefs. I love you and good luck, cheering you on from home. Mallory, in quotations, girlfriend in Bay Minette. And I think that in quotations was for us and not for Brendan. Brendan would know that Mallory's his girlfriend. We would not, but thank you very much for watching the coverage, cheering on Brandon. One ball, couple of strikes. Swing and a miss. Luke Wall out number one in the fifth. Big K for Arredondo as Justin Dunham comes to the plate. Saywan Lawrence next. 334-488-1385 to send shoutouts. Shout out to Peyton Galich and Jeremy Lino. As there's a base hit that brings in the tying run. Putting on the brakes, going back to the bag at third is Felix, who represents the go-ahead run. It is one apiece. Shout out to Peyton Galich and Jeremy Lino. Go Sun Chiefs, sending love from Loxley, Alabama. Saywan Lawrence struck out and popped out. He's 0 for 2. Couple of base runners on the corners. Dunham at first. Base runner at third, Felix. Foul back. Howard Lewis moving to the on-deck circle. When you get to the Gov fifth, bottom of the order duo. Aaron Dondo faking a toss towards Felix at third, giving Dunham a look over at first. Here is the 0-1 offering on the outside part of the plate. 0-2 on Sawan Lawrence. Lawrence, the middle out of the first inning. He was the last out in the third inning. Struck out in the first, popped out to center field into the mid of Adrian Hernandez in the third. Sends this one towards shallow center field, and Adrian Hernandez will retrieve, fires quickly home, nobody advances. 2 outs for Howard Lewis. Lewis is wrapped into a couple of 6-3s. Another shout out to Devontae Dixon. Let's go win this. DJ and Kaiser, as they mentioned previously, want to go to Grand Junction and now tell us where they are watching from, Center, Alabama. Shout out to Coach Gilmer's 4th. It says blocks, but I got a feeling that might be spell check, as it's popped up by Lewis into center field. And there the catch will be made by Hernandez for out number 3. I think that may be 4th grade class. Hashtag Wallace fan. And a shout out to Faulkner. Go Tyler Lawrence from H-Town. So Faulkner State plates a run in the top of the 5th. Ties this one up at 1 each. Leaving a couple of base runners on. Felix stays at third. The potential go-ahead run while staying at first. Justin Dunham. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Tied at 1. Championship game here on the ACCC Sports Network.
Number 5, Mitch.
Bottom of the order, 2 up in the bottom of the 5th. Mitch McClendon, Adrian Hernandez, Austin Garrett. Tied at 1. Sun Chiefs getting John Sklopan in on Justin Dunham's single in the top of the 5th, and we are knotted up. Well, we've got James back behind the controls after putting that raincoat on the camera in center field. Although the drops were few and far between, and we hope it stays that way. It's better to be safe than sorry, as the old saying goes. So we likely will extend shout-outs beyond the 5th, but there you see the number on your scoreboard, 334-488-1385. And you already know the criteria, what we're looking for. Shout-out, where from. Interesting spots at work or at school, you want to send that info, please do. It is noticeably windy here in Ozark. Hit towards center field by McClendon. And underneath is Saywan Lawrence. One away as we go back to the top of the order. Adrian Hernandez next. He is singled and ground out. Austin Garrett moving to the on-deck circle. For shout-outs, this one says, way to go, Justin Dunham on Faulkner State. We love you. From the Copelands in Saraland, Alabama. Into foul territory. Lawrence will give it a chase. Shout out to Skip. Coach Larker and the rest of the Sun Chiefs bring home another. Hashtag 2009-2010 Sun Chiefs. From Sun Chief alum in Mobile, Alabama. And that was a baseball alum there in Mobile. Count even, one apiece on Hernandez. This one, too, hit in the direction of Lawrence. And he'll catch that one as well. 2 away for Austin Garrett. Hit by a pitch and ground into the 6-3. Shout out to Faulkner. Go Tyler Lawrence from H-Town. Sun Chief alum in Mobile saying bring home another title. Just a little bit outside with the pitch to Austin Garrett. 0 for 1. Hit by a pitch. Also ground into the 6-3. Drives this one over towards third. Lewis keeps it in front of him. Fires over to first. And gets Garrett on the 5-3. Quick fifth, which featured 1 run for Faulkner State in the top part. And the 3 up, 3 down in the bottom part. We go to the 6th. We'll extend your shout-outs into the 6th as well at 334-488-1385. Top of the 6th, mid part of the order. Walker Watts, Stone Stevenson, Chad Broussard coming to the plate since we last checked out the line score. A definite different look. Got a mark under the run column for Faulkner State, tied up at 1 here in the top part of inning number 6. At stake, a berth in the World Series and obviously the ACCC title. Shout out to the Sun Chiefs. Let's go Saywan. Again, we have extended shout-outs into the 6th. Got them started late because of all the Twitter followers in the 3rd and 4th. So we'll wrap it up, though, in the 6th. After the 6th, we focus on 1/3 of a game of baseball. So if you want to send the shout-outs in, got to get them in here in inning number 6. Howard Lewis, 0 for 3. Or make that Walker Watts, who is 1 for 1. He has singled and he has walked. Stone Stevenson, Chad Broussard coming up. 1 and 2 now on Watts. One ball, couple of strikes. Watts with a single in the 2nd. Got stranded at first after Stevenson, Broussard, and Squopan struck out. Speaking of striking out, Walker Watts for the first time today won't go to first. He is fanned.
Now batting number 4, Dayton.
One out for Stone Stevenson. Chad Broussard will follow. Fouled out of play by Stevenson. He has struck out, he has singled. Outside of the strike zone, and the count will even up at 1. I got some shout outs too on Twitter. One says, "Get her done." Govs from Valrico, Florida. Is that as good as you can? Who's the guy that does that? Larry the Cable Guy? So I think that's probably what the getter part of the "get her done" was for the Govs. Also on Twitter, go Devontae Dixon. Go Wallace Dothan. We'll check in with Facebook messages in a bit. Countyman's up at 2. In low, 3-2. Well, we got a little caution tape, I think, that was supposed to be around our camera that's wants a better view of the game in center field. Popped in the direction of right. That will be a base hit. Extra bases for Stevenson as he kicks it in and gets to second. So a Stevenson double.
Number 14, Chad Broussard.
Chad Broussard is struck out. He is ground out. John Sklopan next, fouled out of play. Here's the 0-1 offering from Broussard. It is hit towards short, hops right into Hallis's mint, and Broussard will wrap into the 6-3. Sklopan next. He is struck out and singled. Strikeout came in the 2nd. The single came in the 5th. Anthony Felix to the on-deck circle. Shout out to the Sun Chiefs from Jacksonville, Florida. Also to Chipola, and good luck at the World Series. Chipola has already punched their ticket. They are in. And these two teams trying to join Chipola and others with an eventual trip to Grand Junction. Shout out to Coach Gilmer at Hanlon High. Everyone is lit for Wallace to win, baby. Whoa, Wallace. James has asked me, our producer in the truck, if I know what lit means, and I probably don't want to know what lit means. Oh, it is excited. Okay, I thought lit may have meant a little under the influence, maybe, but okay, so not in modern vernacular, apparently. Well, good. They're just excited about the fact that Wallace, and that apparently lit is a higher degree of excitement. So good to hear from the folks out in Headland, and they are lit for Wallace. Found out of play. Shout out to Peyton Galich from Gulf Shores, Alabama. Number 4 on Faulkner is Dayton Cook. Let's go Faulkner alum. Pitch goes outside. one apiece, 2 gone. There is a base runner at third, Stevenson, and John Sklopan trying to give Faulkner State their first lead of the game. Here's the 2-2 offering. Sklopan hits it over towards first. There it will be gathered in by Seeley. Gets to the bag ahead of the arrival of Sklopan. And this game will remain tied. One apiece. Sun Chiefs again, though, leave somebody at third. Lewis, Rodriguez, and Wallace for the Govs when we return. Bottom of the 6th, Nick Lewis starting things off. Eric Rodriguez, Tyler Wallace to open the inning 2. Let me make one correction numerically, and if you'll give me probably 30 minutes to an hour, I'll come up with a really good excuse as to how I wrote the wrong name into my scorebook. It is Dayton Cook, who bats DH for Faulkner State, has struck out looking and then singled and doubled. Dayton Cook's the guy that smashed a 2-run home run in yesterday's victory over Shelton State. So you got a guy, well, you want to recognize them anyway, but when they're popping them out of the park, special recognition. There's a shot towards the gap, hits, rolls. Nick Lewis standing at second to begin the 6th. What literally happened, though, was I obviously looked at the wrong roster in writing in the name. So Dayton Cook, my apologies. And congratulations on a good game thus far, 2 for 3. Meanwhile, Nick Lewis leading things off with a single. Eric Rodriguez. Tyler Wallace will follow. James, my producer, is trying to make me feel better about the omission by acknowledging that he missed a number in the shout-out. So I guess if you tried to shout out to the number that was posted, you're really ticked because we didn't read it and we just didn't get it, is the problem. 1-1 game. Rodriguez trying to break apart the tie with a base runner at second. That is Nick Lewis. Hashtag ACCC Sports. Shout out to Coach Gilmer at Headland High. Everyone is lit for Wallace to win, baby. Whoa, Wallace. Well, we kind of added a hashtag in there, but a shout out nonetheless. Thank you very much. Ground out on the infield for Rodriguez as he hits into the 6-3. That's got Lewis at third. Tyler Wallace has popped out a couple of times. Shout out to FMG from Josh. There's the base hit that breaks open the 1-1 tie. Tyler Wallace driving in Lewis. Joey Benn stepping into the box with a base runner at first. Now a 2-1 game. Oliver Tejada moving to the on-deck circle. Legu Dayton. Love you lots from Robertsdale, Alabama. Shout out to Tyler Lawrence and the Sun Chiefs. Tammy, Lauren, Heather, Nana, and PJ. Shout out to Miss Bojanka's fourth. Well, got block again. So is there a block class? Okay, there is. What is a block class? It is a block schedule, apparently, as Charlie, the all-knowing one here in the box, has enlightened me that it is Miss Bojanka's fourth block class. Gavin Chambliss, Brianna Hicks, and Leah all sending shout-outs. Count even one apiece on Joey Benn. Swats at it. Off to second goes Tyler Hallis, and he will be there safely. Compliments to the swing and miss by Benn. So the reason for the swing was to protect Hallis, who was headed towards second. Now there with a stolen base. Putting it out there for Tyler Lawrence from Headland High School, Coach Gilmer's class. Over towards right, Luke Wall makes the catch. And Benn is out. Hallis stays at second. 2 gone for Oliver Tejada. Tejada with a single. He also reached on an error. The Sun Chiefs watching from the dorm. Miss Danielle, the dorm mom. Thank you very much, Miss Danielle. Shout out to Say One Lawrence. Love you from Mom. Into the strike zone to Tejada, who is 1 for 2. Here's a shout out talking about shout outs. Thank you to you and your team for doing the shout outs since we are not physically at the game from the fans. Well, you are not physically, you're right, at the game, but you're kind of part of a virtual reality audience watching the game coverage, and that's why we want you to be able to shout through the shout-outs. 0-1 on Tejada. Pops it up, foul territory, out of play. Shout out from the Diplomats in Grimsley. Watching the game online, love our Govs. Shout out to Dr. Spry from the Diplomats. Shout out to Philly Cheese. Go Gov. Shout out to Tyler Lawrence. That's that pressure. Swing and a miss by Tejada. 5 go to the plate. More importantly for the Govs, 1 comes in and scores. It's a 2-1 contest. Governors on top of the Sun Chiefs as we head to the 7th. Well, as we close out our shout-outs, just a few more before we get into the 7th, top part of the inning. I say that, and they just continue to flow in. Shout-out Peyton Arthur Hicks. Shout out to Faulkner from Autumn. Hashtag GilmerClass.com from Headland High. Shout out to Devontae Dixon. Love you, bro. Shout out to Say-One Lawrence, Faulkner Chiefs. Keep working hard. I am very proud of you. Number one cousin Bianca from Tampa. So thanks so much for all the shout outs in the 5th and 6th. Let's get to the 7th. Here on JockJive.com, the ACCC Sports Network. Wrapping up the 2016-17 campaign. Anthony Felix starting things off 1 for 2. It is a 1-run ball game in the 7th. Luke Wall, Justin Dunham will follow. Over it goes to Lewis. Plants and fires, gets Felix on the 4-3. One away as we go back to the top of the order. Luke Wall next. Hashtag ACCC Sports. Put that in your Twitter or Facebook search engine, and you pull up all of the big plays from this tournament during the course of the season as well, and the big plays to come. Next to that, you see at ACCC Athletics. That's how you find the ACCC on Twitter. Follow them, and you get updated very, very quickly. As a matter of fact, last game of the baseball season when MMI was taking on Southern Union, there was some consequences to wins or losses that would determine some seeding, and that's where I went to get all the scores. Tossed is Luke Wall. He has been ejected from the game as he drew a line in the sand, indicating where the strike zone was. Luke Wall's done. Right there, he draws a line. And that will get you tossed every time. That's what ended the junior college career of Bryce Harper in the World Series in Grand Junction, Colorado. A called strike 3 and drawing a line in the sand. Luke Wall was putting a line in the sand where the ball came across, and that's got him canned. And you're not going to get much of an argument from Wayne Larker. I mean, he knows that there was really no choice. Even if the ball is outside of the strike zone, even if it is right where Luke Wall marked in the sand, which it could very well be. But as soon as he drew in the sand, that determined his fate for the game. And he has been thrown out. So Justin Dunham will come to the plate. In towards Nick Lewis, who is now back playing first. Grabs the Dunham shot, steps on the bag, puts an end to the top of the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th with a new right fielder and a new leadoff hitter for Faulkner State. Wallace Dothan by 1. Bottom of the 7th, Philip Seeley leading things off. Mitch McClendon, Adrian Hernandez. Well, there has been some extracurricular stuff. Had the flare-up between, I don't remember who exactly was playing, but Bobby Sproul of Shelton State had to come out onto the diamond and yank his assistant coach off the field. A couple of years ago, Mackie Sasser tosses a 5-gallon bucket of baseballs onto the field, and here a couple of years later, Luke Wall draws a line in the sand and gets ejected from the game. Seeley 0 for 2. Popped out to center field, ground out. I've got a ton of shout-outs too coming in. We'll try to squeeze a few of those in. I mean, because we said 6th, we can alter. Into the strike zone or outside. Outside, just a little bit low to Philip Seeley's replacement. This is Devontae Dixon batting. So Dixon getting an at-bat here in the 7th. And with the defensive changes on the infield, Lewis over at first, I have a feeling that Devontae is also playing second. Here's the 3-2, foul back. Mitch McClendon moving to the on-deck circle. Shout out to Isaiah Vickers. Gilmer rules. Hampton High, go Tyler. Go Coastal Alabama Community College, Bay Minette Sun Chiefs. From the guy with the bow tie. Well, thank you very much. Bow tied one. Swing and a miss. Dixon out number 1. One away for Mitch McClendon.
Now batting number 5, Mitch McClendon.
Adrian Hernandez moving to the on-deck circle. We are in the bottom of the 7th. McClendon 1 for 2. Into second. Sklopan over to first. And McClendon out on the 4-3. Adrian Hernandez next, 1 for 3.
Now batting number 27, Adrian Hernandez.
Hernandez, a single. And ground out to short, a fly out to center field. He is 1 for 3. Austin Garrett moving to the on-deck circle. Here's a shout out to the Faulkner coaches. Hashtag Go Sun Chiefs. Well, I have not checked Facebook to see if there are any messages. We don't want to miss anything that's intended for some of the guys playing here for the championship. I think we've already gotten all the Twitter shout outs in. So it looks like we're good to go. Bottom of the 7th, count even at 1. Line to short, that will ricochet off Felix's mitt. That'll be a 2-out base hit for Hernandez. Austin Garrett next. A 2-1 game here in the bottom of the 7th. Wallace Dothan scores first with a run in the 1st. Faulkner State ties it up with a run in the 5th. Wallace Dothan reclaims the lead with a run in the 6th. And here we are in the 7th, bottom part with a base runner at first, 2 away, and Austin Garrett batting. He is 0 for 2, has been hit by a pitch and ground out twice. Softly towards center field. That's going to be trouble to get to by Lawrence. He will not. Hernandez Rounding second, winds up at third. Austin Garrett with a single, back-to-back base hits. Have a couple of guns on here in the seventh. And Nick Lewis coming to the plate. Lewis has struck out, popped out, and doubled. He is 1 for 3. Tyler Lawrence paid a visit. Let's see if he is going to be given the opportunity to try to get out of the bottom of the seventh into the eighth, or if coach decides to go to the pen. A 2-1 contest in the ACCC Championship. Totally irrelevant to this game, but there would have been no mercy rule had the game gotten out of hand and one team taken a big lead over the other. But obviously that's not going to play a role in this one. And Tyler Lawrence will stay in to face Nick Lewis. He doubled his last at-bat, otherwise struck out and popped out. Sends this one towards Lawrence, and he's going to be able to get back and make the catch right near the warning track. So no damage done by the couple of base hits. We're going to the eighth. Cubs by a run. We enter the eighth. Sewan Lawrence starting things off, facing Jacinto Arredondo. Howard Lewis, Walker Watts, 2 up in the inning, 2. Shout out to the Govs from a proud former Gov. As shout outs continue. There you see at JockJive Twitter, JockJive Sports on Facebook. That's how you can follow us and like us. Sure would like for you to. Better than 9,000 now on Facebook, and trying to creep up on 800 followers on Twitter. So if you would do that before the game wraps up, we'll go ahead and say a thank you. Lawrence chopped at it, 0-1. And of course the benefit is that in addition to scores, schedules, and more, you can interact with us. Good or bad, we are capable of handling both. As we occasionally prove. 1-2 the count. Hit into center field. And then a little bit of a bobble. Is there a recovery? No, and the bobble is going to allow Lawrence to wind up at second. Adrian Hernandez committing the error. The single turns into 2. And Lawrence will wind up at second. And Mackey Sasser out to talk to Arredondo. This won't be a lengthy conversation. If Mackey stays on the mound with any duration of time, it's pitching change. Well, and you're going to get a pitching change. So Aaron Tondo will go, and the new pitcher comes in. The tying run at second in the 8th. It's the ACCC Championship on the ACCC Sports Network. Howard Lewis will be the first to face the new pitcher, Ethan Michaelis. Aaron Tondo working a total of 7 innings. And Ethan Michaelis will step in to take on the reliever for the Govs of Dothan. Howard Lewis, Walker Watts facing Michaelis. The run that could tie it up at second, that is Sewan Lawrence. Had a single, but when Adrian Hernandez bobbled it in center field and kicked it in and got the second. Howard Lewis trying to lay down the bunt. He is 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs to short, a fly out to center field. Walker Watts moving to the on-deck circle. In the hole is Dayton Cook. Nobody gone, one aboard in scoring position. The Michaelis pitch is fouled off. And now you ask him to bunt on a 2-strike count. Two gone, one aboard. It is Lawrence here in the 8th. Here is the 1-ball, 2-strike delivery to Howard Lewis. Ground out to short in the 1st, the same in the 4th. Popped out to center field in the 5th and got just enough of it to stay alive. Here's Task. Getting Lawrence to 3rd. Moving him a bit. Here is the 1-2 pitch from Michaelis, and that's going to get the runner over. As it is fielded by Devontae Dixon, who is now playing second, and goes over to 1st. So Lewis does, in reality, though the stats won't indicate such, what he was asked to do, and that is get Lawrence up a bag. Walker Watts now asked to drive in the tying run, while Dayton Cook moves to the on-deck circle. Hit up the middle, base hit. We are tied at 2. Walker Watts with a single. And the Sun Chiefs have knotted this one up at 2 apiece. Dayton Cook, the DH, who has struck out, singled, and doubled, stepping in. Dayton Cook with a 2-run home run against Shelton State. My, wouldn't he love a 2-run shot here? Hit towards Dixon. Goes to second for 1. Throw not in time for 2 at first. And Cook wraps into the 4-6 for out number 2.
Now batting number 14, Chad Broussard.
Chad Broussard next. He is 0 for 3. He struck out, ground out twice. Once to third, once to short. Cook, the base runner, at first. Getting his lead there. Lewis holding him on. Michelis with a glance over the shoulder to the base runner. And then pitches inside on Broussard. John Sklopan will follow. Foul out of play. One ball, one strike. Broussard, did he reach? Blue says no. An appeal made to first. Two and one on Broussard. Looking for his first base hit of the game. Pops this one up right side. Oliver Tejada will drift over near the foul line. Reach up, make the catch. Put it into the inning, but it's not before Faulkner State ties this one up. 2-2. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Rodriguez, Alice Bend, all coming up for the Governors. We enter the bottom of the 8th. Is this game close? Well, take a look. Identical runs, identical hits, and identical errors. Yep, it's close. As we head into the bottom of the 8th, Eric Rodriguez, Tyler Hallis, Joey Penn, 2 up in the inning, 2.
Number 13, Eric Rodriguez.
Rodriguez 0 for 3. Tyler Lawrence able to fight his way out of the 7th and has earned himself some playing time in the 8th. On the bump for Faulkner State. Got a complete game out of Tyler Lawrence against Southern Union. And he has worked into the 8th of this one. Roll towards Felix at short. Routine 6-3 to get Rodriguez. 1 out, Tyler Hallis next.
Tyler Hallis.
Hallis 1 for 3. Joey Ben moving to the on-deck circle. Hallis with a fly out to left field, last out in the first inning. To center field is the first out in the 4th, had the single and stole a base as well in the 6th. batting here in the 8th. Well, in the victory for Faulkner State over Southern Union, Lawrence allowed 2 runs. He's allowed 2 runs thus far in this one. And obviously still has something working for him. Good looking pitch, fanned on by Wallace. And it is 1-2. Just missed outside. Count evens up 2 each. Right behind second, and Felix says he's got it. He does. And Wallace is out number 2. Two away for Joey Bend. Bend 0 for 3. Couple of flyouts, a strikeout as well. Oliver Tejada moving to the on-deck circle. Wallace Dothan, a run in the 1st, a run in the 6th. Faulkner State, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 8th. There's an area of the diamond in which my view is blocked, but it is where Chad Broussard apparently went to catch the fly ball of Joey Bend. And with that catch, the 9th coming up. We're still tied, 2 each. Let's go all the way back to Friday. First game, 9 a.m. in the morning. It was about 12:30 in the afternoon before that opening game wrapped up. It was Snead State taking on LBW. And that's how the tournament began. 4 hours, 7 minutes, 12 innings. And here we are in the last game. Tied at 2. Could first and last go extras? Well, if somebody doesn't score in the 9th, it will. Tied at 2, John Sklopan starting things off. Anthony Felix, Peyton Galich due up in the inning. It is hit to short. Hops into the mid of Wallace. And he'll get the throw to first to get Sklopan on the 6-3.
Now batting number 12, Anthony Felix.
The Faulkner-Shelton game yesterday knotted up at 4 apiece until a pinch hitter comes in for Faulkner. And that pinch hitter became the hero, Austin Henson, with an RBI walk-off game-winning single that drove in another guy who had pinch hit, Ortlimp. So the pinch hitters come off the bench and they show the world what is supposed to happen when you put pinch hitters in. Get on and score. The end of the strike zone to Anthony Felix with 1 away. Two-one pitch, swung on and missed. Count even 2 each. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 9th, Peyton Galich has moved to the on-deck circle. High with the pitch and the count runs full. Bottom third of the order when you get to the bottom of the ninth for Wallace Dothan. The 8, 9, and 1 spots here in the ninth for Faulkner State, and a walk has got the potential go-ahead run on. Maybe not quite as many options for Faulkner State with 1 out, but still got options. Peyton Galich stepping in, his first at-bat of the game. This is the spot previously occupied by Luke Wall. But if you go back to the 7th inning, Luke Wall was struck out. He didn't agree with the call, thought the pitch was outside, and drew a line in the sand as to where he thought the pitch went. And Blue ejected him. Got thrown out of the game. So that's why Galich is batting. Galich has not been in the starting lineup, but interesting that in a game yesterday, and I cannot recall if it was the game against Shelton State or Wallace Dothan, I think it was the Shelton State game, he was listed as a starter. And then 10 minutes after the lineup card was brought to the box, a new one arrived, and he was not the starter. Forced into playing time here with Luke Wall out. Here's the 0-2. On the outside part of the plate, Galich struck out. And there's 2 away for Justin Dunham. Dunham has laid down a sacrifice, ground out, singled, and ground out. Outside with the pitch to Dunham. Saywan Lawrence moving to the on-deck circle. Well, I've mentioned before, if you go extras, I really only have room in my book for 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So we can't go beyond the 13. I don't have any room in the scoreboard. Neither one of these teams really wants to go beyond 9. And both like to win it in regulation. Into the strike zone, outside to Dunham. 1 single in 4 plate appearances, but a sacrifice tossed in as well. So officially 1 for 3 is Dunham. Michelle's pitch outside, 3-1. Three-one offering into the strike zone, 3-2. Three balls, couple of strikes, 2 outs. Tied at 2. A base runner on first, and now time asked for by Dunham. Wayne Larker is asking the official the same question we were wondering up here in the box. The official stepped down in front of the plate and pointed to the ground 2 or 3 times. And Wayne Larker wanted to know, what's that mean? Apparently has the explanation. That was the same thing we were asking. What does that mean? Swing and miss. Strike 3. 1 base runner left on. Nobody scores in the top of the 9th. Wallace Dothan won something of the walk-off variety. Sun Chiefs hoping to go to the 10th. Bottom of the ninth, Oliver Tejada leading things off. Philip Seeley, Mitch McClendon. Still dead even. 2-8-1, 2-8-1. Runs, hits, errors for both. Govs looking for something to walk off with a victory. Faulkner State, they want a 10th. They want Lawrence, Lewis, and Watts coming to the plate. Opening pitch outside to Tejada. Ball game just 2 hours and 9 minutes old. And in the ninth. Couple of pitches outside of the strike zone. Gotta believe that Tyler Lawrence has got to get Tejada. He's on a short leash now. 2-1 the count. Way outside. 3-1. I just feel like if Tejada gets on, Lawrence will not face Seeley. 3-1 pitch. Into left field, base hit. Tejada with a single, looking to see if he can turn it into 3. He cannot. And Wallace Dothan with the potential game-ending run and the winning run over at first. And let's see if the guy who has been very effective at closing for Faulkner State is coming in, Chase Lambert. We'll find out when we return. We do know that Tyler Lawrence is gone, and yep, here he comes. Chase Lambert trying to close the door on the Govs, who are trying to win it in the ninth. Yesterday was a big day for Chase Lambert, the guy on the hill for the Sun Chiefs. He got a victory over Shelton State. He got a save over Wallace Dothan. Right now he is trying to send his Sun Chiefs into the 10th. One base runner on as Tyler Lawrence walked the leadoff guy, Oliver Tejada. Devontae Dixon. Let's see if he will be asked to sacrifice the runner over. The big surprise would be if he's not. You would think a bunt is coming from Seeley. Mitch McClendon to follow.
Chase Lambert, now batting number 8.
So Chase Lambert up onto the bump. Another fine performance, though, from Tyler Lawrence. Sun Chiefs cannot be disappointed in the pitching performance, as it is bunted foul by Dixon of Tyler Lawrence. Tyler Lawrence gave him a complete game against Southern Union and gave them almost a complete game in this one. Nothing in one on Dixon. Mitch McClendon to follow. Dixon's task, get Tejada to second. Coming in on the swing, nothing in 2. Well, if you go back to yesterday, this was a similar circumstance when Stone Stevenson was at the plate for Wallace Dothan. Needed a bunt, And they went ahead and tried to lay down the bunt on a 2-strike count, and you got to believe that's possible here as well, maybe even probable. Yep. Did he go? He did not. Pulled back. 1-2 on Dixon. Boy, that was close to offering. Lines it right at Sklopan, dropped it, picks it up, underhands over to second, safe. According to the official, the underhand by Sklopan pulled Felix off the bag. Let us see on the replay. We've got a center field shot that might give us a better idea. He is out. He is out at second. Wayne Larker came out on fire. You see Johnny Sklopan. He is hot too. Here's the throw. The official says he pulled his toe off the bag. And admittedly, it is difficult to see the toe, and there is the possibility that's exactly what happened. Sklopan thinking again that he had Tejada. And here comes Wayne Larker again. Nope, he is safe there. Let's go back, though, to the underhand to second. I'd say that there is the center fielder in the view that kind of blocks whether the foot is on or off. It looks like that looks like he is out to me. But again, we get multiple looks and we're going, I think he's out. Blue gets one. Mitch McClendon batting with a couple of base runners on. Roll towards third. Throw will go into left field. And this game is over. It is the error that turns into a Governor victory. The agony of defeat as Howard Lewis is in tears, and the victory as the Govs celebrate. A throwing error brings in Tejada. And this ball game has ended. A victory for Wallace Dothan. Teammates picking up Howard Lewis. You cannot fault Lewis, though. It was the bad throw that brought in the run, yes. But there's a whole heck of a lot of baseball that comes between inning 1 and inning 9. Governors have captured the ACCC title. By a final score of 3-2. It is Wallace State Dothan who are the ACCC champions and will represent Region 22 in the World Series in Grand Junction, Colorado. Thanks so much for watching our coverage here on JockJive.com. Let me say before we depart, as they began to pull the trophies out and hand out some hardware, and a big piece of hardware to Wallace Dothan, who can make plans to travel to Colorado. And there you hear a little Rocky Mountain High, as that's where the Govs will head in about a week and a half to play baseball in the Rockies, capturing the ACCC. Thanks to Dean Myron, the commissioner of the ACCC, for the opportunity to bring you baseball this weekend and throughout the course of the year. ACCC athletics at its finest. Steve Sherrill, all the crew here at Ozark, Alabama. as usual, job more than well done. Thanks so much. Wallace, Dothan hosting. Thank you for the opportunity to broadcast. Baymont in. We appreciate the chance to stay in Ozark at Baymont. Thank you for watching the coverage. Whether you sent a text, whether you followed us on Facebook, whether you liked us on Twitter as well, thanks so much. Without you, no need in us being here. As always, great job by James Crenshaw, our producer. It's final. Wallace Dothan headed to the Rockies. I'm Robert Williamson. So long for the ACCC Sports Network and JockJive.com.